On this channel, I talk a lot about using your phone to make videos, to make movies. But one thing I don't talk a lot about that I've been meaning to, and I'm going to start today, is using your phone to help make movies using other cameras. In other words, how your iPhone or Android can really benefit working on more traditional productions. So if you follow my channel or my second channel, you know that I am about to embark on directing a new movie, a new feature film. It's called Casey's Favorite Song. And if you want to check out what it's all about, I'll put a link in the description. Shooting it in June of 2023, which is about a week from when I'm recording this video. So over the next 3 weeks or month or so, there may not be a lot of videos on this channel or my second channel because I'm really focusing on the movie, and it's a feature film. But one thing I wanted to talk about is how I'm using my phone, my iPhone, in a higher end, more professional shooting situation. Now, of course, you can shoot a movie on a phone, and I've done it, not a feature, but I've done a lot of shorts. And so I'm not taking anything away from using it in that fashion. However, I know there are a lot of guys out there that will shoot movies on Red cameras or Arri Alexa or Canon or mirrorless cameras, Sony, you name it. And they use their phone in a variety of ways to help make the movie. They don't shoot the movie on the phone, they just use the phone. And of course, there are apps out there like Sunseeker or storyboarding apps or shot listing apps, etc., that you can use on your phone. And those are great. And I've talked about some of those in the past. But what I'm going to talk about today are actually used during the production. And there's two things I'm going to mention. The first one is using your phone as a monitor. And there are a lot of different ways to go about this. And of course, you can do it using your phone just as a phone, shooting like with Filmic Pro or Movie Pro. They have apps that go to an iPad. Or you can download proprietary apps from different camera makers. And the one I'm using is from Red. It's called Red Control. And I gotta say, it's probably the best app out there for a camera. Now, you can also download a Blackmagic Control app. Sony has one, Panasonic. There's a lot of them available, but the Red one in particular is amazing and allows you to do a lot with your phone. Basically use your phone as a full functioning monitor. Now, I'm not going to go into the specifics of the actual app, but I'm just going to show how I'm using it and how I'm also using it as a follow focus. And of course, the best thing is you already own the phone, and then all these tools I'm going to talk about that go with it are not very expensive. So the Red Control app lets you control every aspect of the camera. A lot of these apps just let you control start stop or more basic functions. This lets you control everything. You can choose the white balance, you can choose the T-stop depending on what kind of lens you're using. You can control the focus, you can control everything, the ISO. You can choose the quality of the recording. It is really an amazing app, and it's also free. So if you're a Red owner, you probably already know about it, but if you're not and you're considering going into the Red ecosystem one day, Red Control is really amazing. And when you use it as a monitor, it actually has very good latency. Now, it's not exact like using a traditional monitor that you might do over SDI, but it is very close, and it will allow you to do any kind of focus pulls, especially if you're just adjusting the focus. Let's say you're doing a one-man band, but even on a movie, you can use it to do focus pulling to a degree. If you're doing something that is super critical and it has to be synced exactly at the same time, you probably want to use a traditional monitor because, again, there is a little bit of latency, but I found that the latency is really minimal. Now, the cool thing about this setup is I'm just using a small rig grip that I use for one of my iPhones. Then I also have a Ulanzi foam mount on here. And then I'm using the small rig follow focus. And it will work with these cinema lenses. I'm using Mikey cinema lenses here on my Red Komodo. It has plenty of torque. And so you could use it on smaller lenses or bigger cinema lenses. And I really like this small compact setup here. Now, the other way I do it is I'm using a cage, and this is also a small rig cage. Again, these cages and these setups are designed really to shoot with your phone, but I'm using it to help control the camera with my phone. Now, this is a little more robust and it's almost like a director's viewfinder. So you could hold the cage with the phone in it, and then you can mount the follow focus on the side, and you can put a handle on the bottom, or you can put a handle on the opposite side of the follow focus. And the cool thing too is you can also mount a battery on this setup. Now, this setup gets a little bit heavier, and so you might want to put it on a stand, which you can, depending on the handle you have. You can adapt it to a stand, or you can just hand hold it and use it as a preview monitor, or again, do follow focus. This would be used primarily if you're not on a studio, you're out on location. And then of course, if you're doing any kind of slider dolly shots or a gimbal shot, etc., that's where this comes in real handy. And so in the end, your iPhone is not only a great tool to shoot stuff with, but it's a great tool to actually enhance or help your other productions, really no matter what camera you're shooting on. And so again, I'm directing my new movie. It's called Casey's Favorite Song, and it will be, I don't know when it'll be out. It'll probably be out next year. It takes a long time to get a movie turned around, but we're shooting in June. I'll be entering film festivals, etc. later in the fall, and then it'll be released in 2024 sometime. So if you want to follow along, there's a link in the description. And I'll also have a lot more videos coming soon behind the scenes, because I am actually going to use my phone for a couple shots in the movie. I'm going to intercut it with my red Komodo. And I'll talk a lot more about that later. But right now, I got to get out of here because I got to go make a movie.